The thing about police corruption, right, it's one of those things. When I were being assaulted by 6632 Ashton of Halifax Police Force, I'd gone into the police station afterwards and I was told by them that I wouldn't be believed. Nobody had believed me. And who else was I going to tell? Because they were the police. That seems to be a common misconception by corrupt police officers. Well, all corrupt police officers were police officers that were deluded that they weren't ever going to get caught. Now, it had to come to eventuality that somebody were going to get that pissed off with it all happening and feel that unsafe, that there'd be an investigation into it all and that it'd all be corrected. It were inevitable for it to happen. Another thing about police corruption is that not many people know whether they're a victim of police corruption. I asked a lot of people recently if they knew about the IOPCC, and a lot of them said no. And I asked them if they knew the codes of conduct or knew of them, and a lot of them said no. So they don't even know of the codes of conduct, let alone have they read them, which you can find it online for the police codes of conduct. It's a book that's given to every person who's arrested, or they have the choice to be given that book so that they can check up that all codes of conduct have been adhered to. Now, everybody can check it up, it's on the internet, and there's that many interactions with people that don't result in an arrest, so you never get to read this book, that you wouldn't know whether you were a victim of corruption or not. There's lots of different types of corruption. There's negligent corruption, so when people, there's clearly means for a charge, there's enough evidence and they've just decided not to charge, and that's a form of corruption because it leaves people susceptible to danger, and leaving people susceptible to danger is as bad as putting them in danger or inflicting anything on them that could be inflicted by them being in danger. So yeah, that's a bit of a thing about police corruption. Just not many people are aware, and we've got as the empire, the Great British Empire, we've got to try and keep everybody aware, because it could cost fortunes and fortunes to drill it into people's heads, or to give one person a job to tell everybody on all platforms. Whereas if we do it ourselves, pass around that information, you not only make yourself safer, because if you're a victim of corruption, somebody else can then step in with intervention. You make everybody else safer by you knowing about it. And that's what it's about. It's about staying safe, I think. That's although I say outlaw, but it's not. It's I'm an outlaw because I'm hidden away because of this corruption and because of the things that happen. And it's the police work closely with social housing so that things are easily brushed under the carpet and kept quiet. And I'm not talking about much of my personal experience, although when they have a bit of a grievance for you, you aren't really given as much leeway as people who they do have a liking for. So it's and even it's not even whether they like you or they don't like you. It's there's lots of different things. But yeah, it's about staying safe. So stay safe, guys. So just to just add a little bit more of the story. So it was a sexual assault that PC 6632 Ashton inflicted on me, and the language that they use, like I say, you won't be believed, and what else were I going to tell? I made a statement about that to the police, and 2128 when they came to arrest me because of the things that I'd said about Adam Raymond, when I'd told the police that I was going to defend myself if he carried on following me around, because they'd obviously used the PNC database to find out where I lived, and because I'd had previous dealings with Adam Raymond before he was a police officer, through him messaging me because of his girlfriend who were involved with 6632 Ashton also, because he followed me about. I told them that I'd defend myself, and they come and took my door off, and when they did, they assaulted me, and I said, there were neighbours stood there watching, and I told the neighbours to phone the police, and they were like, we are the police, who are you going to tell? They were like they'd read the statement and they were repeating stuff that I'd said, that Ashton had said, and that were 2128. When he come in, he were acting like a complete knobhead, covering his badge up, saying, no, that's not my badge, that's not my number. And when we got back to police station, he divulged that he'd had an army background. He was completely aggressive, and like I say, he'd used the same sort of language, and whilst we were in the holding cell, he told me that all I did was complain about police officers, when the only officers I've complained about was 6632 Ashton, who were a rapist, and Adam Raymond. And I have made complaints to IOPC, don't get me wrong, but when the conduct's not right, when you're speaking to them on the phone and the conduct's well off, then they sort of need some sort of feedback, because otherwise they're going to think they can just keep getting away with it, aren't they? So they needed to be told. So yeah, it seems I rung up West Yorkshire Police and said there were a correlation between the language that they'd all used, the aggressive nature of the behaviour and stuff like that, and that you're not going to be believed, and we are the police, who are you going to tell? And that's exactly the same stuff as what the David Carrick had said, even to one of his victims. But I put my statement in about 6632 Ashton over a year ago now, and they tried to close it down once, and then I got onto IOPC, to the CPS for a victim's right to review. I also got onto West Yorkshire Police for a victim's right to review, and I was rung up by the CPS and told that the victim's right to review had been accepted. So, and that's ongoing, but I'm on the run, so I fucking can't find out about it, because I ain't got, you know what I mean? I can't stand up in court for living in a tent. Well, it's decent, don't get in it, you know what I mean? Obviously you've all seen it, but it's one of them. So I need to get 6632 Ashton convicted. Adam Raymond's been removed from police force because of his derogatory nature, and like I said, he was threatening beforehand, and the associates that he associated with when he was in a relationship with the girl that he was were all I'd been a co-defendant of some of theirs in past for crimes when I were younger, and they'd all moved on to being like drug dealers and prolific shoplifters and stuff like that. So it's just people he shouldn't have been associating with anyway, that he wore, and then he had derogatory stuff obviously that I put on that last video. So yeah, it's there's people that shouldn't have been on police force, and that's that's police corruption for you. It's sort of, once you make a complaint about a couple of them, all the rest of them sort of jump on you because they're paranoid as fuck about it. So it's about, you got to be careful with it, but do it. If they've done something wrong, complain about them, do it. I was trying to get at something on that last video. I'd started on about how I'd rung West Yorkshire Police to say about the correlations between the language that they'd used, and West Yorkshire Police fobbed me off and told me that there was no corruption in West Yorkshire. So I rung 101, and you can, it says we're putting you through to West Yorkshire, but do you want to talk to a different force? If you do, press hash. So I pressed hash, and when they asked which force I wanted to speak to, I asked for the Met, and it put me through to the Met, the Metropolitan Police Force. And there were a lad on there with proper sound, and he turned around and said, do you know what it is? Everything that they think in West Yorkshire has been, because they've got the watchdogs down there and everything is getting brought out in open now, people that they didn't even think about. They probably haven't been complained about that much. As I proper booted off about this up here. I've been in touch with Alison Law, Boris Johnson, everybody I could, and I believe, to me, do you know what I mean? I might be deluded, but I believe Boris Johnson's done what he could. But do you know what it is? He can't personally intervene, can he? So I respect him anyway, but I reckon he's tried to do his best, and I trust him for that, even though he hasn't told me he has. But I've spoke to Alison Law, Cressida Dick, but Cressida Dick were leaving. John Robbins, Alison Law replied, and they were like a positive sort of thing. But then I've just got sort of a negative feeling that I don't think she's keen on helping to try and expose it, because I've read other things in media that says she ain't keen on a watchdog up here, because I believe that she knows how much corruption will be exposed. She ain't looking forward to it, and she wouldn't when it's all been happening right under her nose, and there's no what she could do about it, sort of thing. So they, like I said, the Met have said that there's going to be a watchdog. They're going to, no stones unturned, fine tooth comb, and it's coming West Yorkshire, every single town, every single city, every single police force. They're going to be ripped apart, and all corrupt little bastards are going to be served up, dealt with, and that. I know it pisses them off, and they think, we'll do this before they get to us, but you can do whatever you want, but they're coming for you guys. You corrupt police officers, they are coming for you, and trust me, it's coming from top, middle and bottom. There's people in every sector, and this great British Empire of ours, we are going to kick your fucking ass, and it's over for you now.